Hello, and welcome to the Superhero Hub. I'm Sam,
I'm Matt.
and today we are reviewing.
Doctor Who.
Yeah, you missed the first 5 minutes of it.
I did indeed.
So yeah, I explained to you a little earlier. I mean, this kind of starter sequence. I had a feeling in my head. I was like, okay, this episode's going to be fat because we had a conflab beforehand when we were discussing other projects, and I rated the episode 9 before I'd even seen it. You said 7, and I think I was closer to hitting the nail on the head, so to speak. So
Yeah,
yeah,
I think it's in the middle.
opening sequence, plops out the TARDIS, hands are glowing, long hair, like as you pointed out, as he had on the Graham Norton show, plops out the TARDIS on his knees, snowing. I think that's going to be one of them things where that scene's probably. I mean, it's interesting because they said they're dragging it out. So he's gonna get whatever's gonna happen to him, putting him in that position, is gonna happen at the end of next episode, the season finale, and then you've got a figure is gonna be glowing through the whole of the Christmas thing. I think that could probably be like a major bit of the plot line, because you can remember when David Tennant was going and he kind of went round and saw everyone and then did that. It would be kind of like that. He'll be doing what he's doing in between then and regeneration. It's not like an instantaneous thing. He'll hold out for the duration of the episode and then go at the end.
Even Eccleston was the last one that went instantaneously. Like, because I think the Matt Smith one fooled people into thinking it was instantaneous, because when he actually transitioned, it happened in a snap thing. But it wasn't, because his generation began when he was old and he did that thing, right? Then they dragged out the actual generation for all that big long speech that he had. So it doesn't really happen instantaneously anymore, anyway.
No, well, I mean, in the space of maybe 5-10 minutes, it doesn't happen instantaneously, but this one's going to be an hour. For some reason, I'm under the impression this next episode is going to be a longer one
That might be for a finale, I'm not sure.
than normal. I really should have checked that out. So yeah, I mean, that was the big moment a couple seconds in, and I'm sitting there thinking, dude, that 5 minute, no, that like what, 30-second thing going into the title sequence was better than, or I'd say, every single episode of the season so far. I was super hyped. I was like, oh my god, that's sick. And I was just thinking, wow, it's like, why can't every episode be like this? As in, like, not so much him plopping out the TARDIS regenerating, but I mean, getting me in that kind of hyped state of mind within the first 30 seconds. I was like, this episode's going to be
Yeah,
sick.
I think that's my frustration as well. We'll get to the actual episode itself in a second, but why can't they all be as good as this? Why has it been absolute crap all season? I get, granted, no one sets out to make a bad episode of the show, but there's been so many stinkers in a row. But oh well, let's focus on the good, which we have this week.
Yes, well, super good. I mean, it didn't really let up. I mean, there were sick bits. It was real well written. There was just like, yeah. I mean, so they're doing the training exercise, and basically what they're doing is they're plopping Missy down in this, well, that it's kind of training wheels. I thought it was going to be a simulation thing, but now it's like real life. And what it is they just find a distress call, and then instead of it, he just sits in the TARDIS and just kind of expects her to do it. So she plops out and she's calling herself Doctor Who, because that's his real name,
It's not.
Doctor Who, and he just drops the Who bit. What? Who knows? Maybe it literally is.
It's not.
Yeah, could you imagine him just being like, I'm gonna call myself Doctor Who?
No.
Like, is trolling people because everyone's like, Doctor Who.
How can he give a real name? How can he give himself a real name? He has parents.
I guess so. Well, how much do you know about the Time Lord reproductive cycle?
Not a whole lot.
Well, there we go then.
Who
So,
cares? Don't really matter, does it?
well, it's like codename. It's like the master calls himself the master, doesn't he? It's not like his parents. He plopped out and they were like, "Oh, I'm gonna call you the master."
I might have done.
Maybe they don't have names. Maybe they're designated numbers, and then when they come of age, it's up to them to pick their own name. And he chose Doctor Who.
Maybe. Who cares? Let's not focus too much. They'll
Yeah.
never really go into it, will they?
So that's the kind of training exercise. They kind of land on this ship, which is a 400 mile by 100 mile long ship, and it's just about to go into a black hole, but they're whacked on the reverse thrusters. But like the kind of guy pops up on the screen. This is the second blue person we've seen. We saw the other one in that other space episode. So yeah, yeah, he kind of is on the screen and whatever, is saying the situation they're in, and then he turns up and like all the alarms are going off because there's a human on board, and then yeah, he panics and like, oh, they're coming. It's like weird. It's like it was really cool because I mean, like his panicking. There was only 50 people on this ship, and they were going somewhere to pick somebody out to pick people up, to move
Mm-hmm.
them to wherever. And 20 people of that skeleton crew, I guess they were all like on the top floor or whatever, or top floors, and then like I don't know, 20 people went down to go do something, and then they vanished, never to be heard from again. But the thing is, like, and they only think there's 50 people on the ship, and then they panic when these people come up, like, who are these or whatever, coming to take her. And then the blue guy freaks out, shoots, and it's like, oh, whatever. I thought nothing of it. I thought he just shot the TARDIS or something, but he just blew a hole straight through Bill, and then it flashes back and it's going on like the events leading up to it, like, oh, I know, let her do test runs, blah 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 blah. That's the boring bit. That like everything else was like sick. You know what I mean? It's like, I guess they were just doing that, like, oh yeah, you're gonna keep me safe, Doctor Who. So to kind of, I don't know, brim up emotions and stuff like that, to kind of get you upset. She's got a hole blew through her, but I was like, oh, that's sick. I was like, forget Bill, you know what I mean? It's like, that's sick.
It's
Like,
cool, and yeah, she's not going to die. I'm not going to kill her anyway, so I wasn't too fussed about it.
is pretty outrageous over like 7 o'clock. I'm not that guy to be like douchey like FCC and stuff like that, but like as if she had a hole blow through. That was sick. So yeah, because like if there's a human detected on board, people come up from I don't know where and like take her, and it just so happens she was damaged so badly, they pick her up and they're like, oh, we'll fix her. So Doctor Who's like, oh, whatever, then take her. And then like they get on an elevator and I guess go all the way down. She wakes up in a hospital where she's been fixed, as it were, but she's obviously got like a kind of metallic thing on her chest, like a big like bulky box thing or whatever, which I guess is like a new heart. Even though she don't really panic, it's like, how am I going to function in real life with some like the biggest box you've ever
Mm.
seen just poking out of
She
her?
was quite nonchalant about that, didn't she?
Yeah, exactly. And it's
Then
like,
again, I suppose if the alternative you got a hole blown through you, then
yeah, I guess so. So
also,
yeah,
I mean, it's like, I mean, she took it nonchalantly in the moment, but they did, because of the whole black hole thing, years went by, so maybe she did question it and just kind of moved past it.
yeah. So this is a kind of sick bit. So like as I said, originally there were 50 people on the ship.
I think there were 20 went there,
Yeah,
and then then 50 life signs or something like that.
no, I think there was 50 on the skeleton crew, and then 20 went off and they disappeared, never to be seen again. But the thing is, if you're, because of how it is with the black hole, so the black hole's here and the ship's like here. So my fingernail there's the bottom of the ship and my knuckles the top of the ship. Like, because the fingernail's so close to the black hole, time's really really slow. So
Mm.
like a minute up here is like a minute, but down here it's like 10 years. So that's the differentiation. So she goes down, and then she's like, oh, how long have I been in recuperation? And it's like, oh, 6 months or whatever, but really up here, like literally 2 minutes have passed. So like, where like they're getting all life signs popping up, and they're at the bottom of the ship, and they're like, "Oh, what's happening? What's happening?" So I guess the 50 people have gone down. No, the 20 people have gone down, and then I don't know whether they're stuck or whatever, because I really don't get how they like didn't go down there, didn't like come straight back up. I guess they
Just for the
must.
time difference, I guess, right? Years went by for them.
Yeah, but it's like, why didn't they come up, like they go down, and that they go? Why didn't they just go back up and be like, oh, shock? You know what I mean? You went down there when you were 20 and come back 60. Why didn't they do that? They just decided, for some reason, they stayed down there,
Mm.
and then just decided to reproduce. So that's all the life signs like popping up. Like like there was no life signs, then 20 people, then 100 and whatever. So they've been reproducing. So it's popping up more life signs, and they're like, how's this happening in seconds? But really, like centuries are passing down there. So she's kind of, in, let's be honest, it's like a cyber conversion facility or whatever. They never bring it up, but you know, we know. I thought the like pre-Mondosian Cybermen were sick, like decent, you know, with the bags on their heads, and it's like
Mm.
pain and stuff like that. That was annoying, but it was really, really well written and stuff like that. Because really, it is like those 20 people are like the original Cybermen, because it's they started off with bags on their head, and then slowly and slowly through the kind of bit of the
It
information.
was a lot more effective to see them in human form with the bags on their head than it was when they did a similar kind of thing in, I can't remember which season it was, but you know when they did the Sidemen in the new show, and you have the tears rolling down the eyes, and like the doctor would go to one of them. Do you remember he was there with the woman with the grey hair or the white hair, and there was one line on the floor, and she said she was meant to get married or something. I think that was towards the end of season 2, and it's like I couldn't really buy into it because it's just this big plastic-looking metal thing. But I think with them in human form and the whole pain, the other one saying "kill me," it was a lot more effective to see them looking as a person.
Yeah, it was decent. So there's, I guess, a kind of caretaker guy, and he like, cause she went in and saw them all, and you had like the big like fat woman nurse or whatever, and she's running her mouth.
Yeah, nice rat shit, yeah.
Yeah, and then you kind of expecting like the guy to like drop her in it and stuff like that, but it's like, nah, stay behind the curtain. And I guess Bill ends up working with him or whatever, and she's kind of kept strong by the whole um I'll um wait for me and stuff like that. And I guess she's kind of living her life and stuff like that, only thinking, oh, however much time I've spent down here is actually how I pass, like day by day. But really, it's like hundreds of years and stuff like that for the people up there. So Doctor Who's working out how to get there and stuff like that. And there's a big thing on, like, I don't really know what they would just kind of, I guess it was kind of happening in real time, in the sense that, like, yeah, she's kind of, because she's sitting with him in the like caretaker's room, and she's looking at the TV, and it's like,
I loved how it was black and white and it made it like an old episode of the show.
yeah, that's what I thought. I thought because I saw it in the background, I was thinking, is that the TARDIS, and is that going to be like a flashback to a real old episode? But it was just them. So it's like, yeah, even like raising his eyebrow takes like 10 hours and stuff like that. So she kind of thinks nothing of it, and then the guy's helping her, and then over time and stuff like that, like, because she looks out the window as well, and there's like a city there in the ship or whatever, and it's all smoky and stuff like that. And they're planning on, the big plan is, see, there was a kind of lot of things that were confusing me as well, because they were like, oh, we're going to go to the top and take the ship. And it's like, take the ship from who? I swear there's only that blue man up there, but I guess they don't know. And then they talk about how they were going up, and then they ended up on floor 500, and then like whoever went up there was never heard from again. So
Hmm.
there's sinister stuff going on, I guess. But
Yeah, that's what I say. I wonder if they really know anything about the ship.
yeah,
I mean, obviously that they know the ship's there, but I wonder if some legend's been built up. through
I
the generations.
I don't. Yeah, that's what I mean. I don't think they're just literally guessing,
It
because
might be that the master's made up some bullshit lie.
oh, they could be. Because I mean, if he's been there, yeah. So yeah. So they're like,
Because that's kind. Because isn't that kind of like Utopia?
well,
Like he made up some crap about Utopia. He might have just even made up some crap about the ship. That's
yeah.
why they've never gone near it.
I don't think he made up the Utopia thing. I think he was just told about Utopia and then like whatever. Because we never really found out about that, did we? We know the missile went,
Well,
and then
he didn't make it up consciously, but remember, Utopia is was a lie. It was a fabrication, wasn't it? That's why he turned them all into the Toclophane and whatnot.
yeah,
There's a lot of crap.
but like he says he goes, yeah. I guess he must have done it before they get on the missile and go to Utopia or whatever. So yeah, I guess like you got to figure if he's there. I wonder how we ended up there. I'm hoping they explain that, because it's like, well, how, like, he's got a beard and stuff. It's like, and you know how we regenerated straight, because his timeline is like,
He got dumped on Gallifrey again, didn't he? He went back into the war, so presumably when the Doctor moved it,
yeah. But I wonder if,
we know he's been sacked because he mentioned being Prime Minister.
yeah. So I guess in terms of timeline, yeah, that works out. Because I was trying to think, because I was thinking maybe it was time war or whatever with his thing. So yeah, whatever happened with him when he ended up on Gallifrey, whether he did end up on Gallifrey or whether they were both displaced. Because you got to think Rassilon ended up back on there because he was like that old guy, wasn't he? So you got to figure he's
Mhm.
regenerated. So whatever happened to the Master, it's like you think, oh, why wasn't it brought up or whatever? So maybe he was put somewhere else. Maybe it was like the kind of, do you know what they did with the Daleks, the emergency temporal shift thing? Maybe it was kind of like that.
I'm sure they'll explain it, but to be fair, it was a cliffhanger at the end of the episode, and also it's not the first time he's popped up magically again, is it? I'm sure the Doctor's used to it by now. Hell, there's two of them.
Yeah. So yeah, that's kind of, and they're trying to make themselves strong enough. Because I think in terms of that, because oh, we'll make you strong so you can go up there. I think in my head I'm thinking maybe like the people who went up to floor 500 or whatever, maybe they get in the elevator, it goes up, but they die of old age in the elevator because it takes so like hundreds of years, and they kind of, turn to a skeleton, turn to dust, and then turn to nothing in the time it takes you to get to the top.
Maybe, but the more I think about it, obviously the episode's just finished, but the more I think about it, that it does make sense actually, the Master thing, doesn't it? It's not too dissimilar from the Doctor vein. We're just converting humans into machines.
Well, technically, the way they're doing it is literally the genesis of the Cybermen. He's literally invented them. He's took the humans, but they're not strong enough to go to the top. So maybe he did. Maybe he was just like, look, if you want to go up there and take the ship for yourself, we've got to make you like stronger. So
Mhm.
here, come and do this experiment. We'll convert you, and then they convert to the bags over their heads, and then it's like, I'd have to see. So then you see the other ones with the eyes cut out, and then with the mouth cut out, and then as the weird doctor guy comes in with the little helmet thing that goes on top, it's like, oh yeah, they can do that, but they still feel pain and stuff like that. So they can't really do much except kind of sit in their little chairs, like whatever. Send that the process of inventing the pain inhibitor, and then they can go off from there.
I think they've done a good job of making the Cybermen haunting rather than scary. If we're being honest, there's no way these Cybermen are going to be scary with the way they look. They're
No.
like goofy 1960s things. So you better go in for a more horrifying. Oh God, what they're in pain and they're suffering rather than kids hiding behind the sofa kind of thing.
Yeah, I thought it was very cleverly written. So yeah, so that's like Bill Potts' problem. So yeah, eventually, I guess they end up plopping in the elevator and going down, and then Doctor Who's standing there, and then he sees like them little metal legs, and she pops out, and it turns out to be Bill Potts. So in the time it took him to go down, she's like had her heart fixed, and she's been fully converted into a Cyberman. Um, I think those ones are better anyway. I guess it works out for the plot better because you had the bit at the end where she was kind of crying and they go into the eye and you can see she's actually there. So I guess that's kind of more of a suit kind of thing as opposed to with the other Cybermen. It was just like they took the brain out and just put it in a metal suit. I mean, there's some part of her body left, so whether they fix it from there. If I were the writers, I'd let her be like stuck as a side. I wouldn't want to fix her. I'd be like, that's her death done. Leave it at that.
No, I think they're gonna fix it.
So you had Missy, kind of Doctor Who left her up there because normally Nardole does the computer stuff, and it was like, yo, you come with me and Missy do the computer, and then it works out, oh, it's from Mondus, which is like the twin Earth, like think like pretty much exactly the same as Earth, like, but I guess things happen differently.
It's like Earth 2, kind of thing.
Yeah. So.
I like, before we get to the end, I like Bill's bond with whatever we're calling. He's a master, and there's no point in playing coy. But I like their bond before I knew who he was. I thought it was funny. I liked the thing with the eye patch and the key, which had his name on anyway. I thought that was funny.
Yeah.
I thought it was endearing, and they got me. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
Before they were in, I think we talked about this before, weren't we? Before they were in the same room, I had no idea it was a master.
Yeah, because I didn't really. It's weird because I had shots of his face, but I guess it wasn't until that light they're in it. I mean, yeah, she works out the ships from Mondus, and then you have him coming up behind her. It kind of adds sinister, kind of way, like sinister thing to his character in that he'd like tricked Bill into thinking they were friends for so long, just to convert her into into a Cyberman, really to screw Doctor Who over. To be like, look, this is your companion. Look what I've done to her. You know what I mean?
It's cool because even to the point, where he betrayed her with not the Doctor, but with the evil Doctor guy.
Yeah.
Even then, in my head, I'm still thinking, oh, he thinks he's doing the right thing for her. He thinks he's helping. It's not until he was in the same room as Missy that I worked out. No, he really was just fucking with her this entire episode.
Yeah. So yeah, they're in the room and he's got the gun. And then they're kind of they're talking and stuff like that, and it's like, oh, it took me a while to clock who you actually were looking at you and stuff like that. So I was thinking, oh, is he gonna take? I was actually thinking, oh, is he gonna be like, yo, come with me, and then we're gonna see the master? I thought it was just like a disciple or something. Then he's giving it a bit more, and then it's like, oh, I wouldn't shoot you because that'd be very self-destructive of me. I was thinking, oh. Nice little hint there and stuff like that, and then I was thinking as soon as he said that, that's when I thought, oh, okay then, because I can kind of tell there his eyes and stuff like that. So yeah, whips off the mask, and obviously he did that, which was another cool callback as well with the whole Saxon thing. It's like, oh, because she'd recognise me as Prime Minister and stuff like that.
Was she though? Didn't that get erased?
That's what I was thinking as well. I guess not.
Okay. I mean, I'm pretty sure it did, but whatever. We can spoil that. I'm not going to complain.
Yeah, I wouldn't think too much of that. And
maybe he wouldn't know about it.
Yeah. So yeah, whips off the mask, and his hair's immaculate and beard. You know what I mean? Even though he's been wearing a mask, and then it's like, yeah. So I guess they're kind of. I don't really think they've teamed up or whatever. So they're standing side by side with Bill in the middle, and it's like it's cool that they've kind of. Another thing as well, like she's a cyber person, and like they've left her still with that little. I can imagine in my head they've taken away all the emotion stuff and pain, but they've just left her with the wait for me thing, just to proper like stick the knife in even more, because that's all she was saying. So I mean, really, that's good. That's a big kick in the teeth for Doctor Who, and then it ended. Let's talk numbers.
I think Missy and the Mouse are definitely haven't teamed up. They just wanted that last shot of the two of them stood next to each other, but why not? I'm going to give it I'll be generous. Why not? 8.5. Hands down the best episode of the season. A couple of years from now, when we're past the point of this season, we're onto a new Doctor and whatnot, I will never need to see any of the season again until this episode.
Yeah. I'll give it
Maybe
an
the first one.
I'll give it a 9 and say, to be honest, this is probably is got to be one of the best Doctor Who episodes. Full stop. Right. And it was just a great episode. Even that twist at the end, man, that was sick. The way it opened was solid. Her getting blasted through the chest was solid. The whole backstory and stuff like that. The thing about the time at the top of the ship and bottom of the ship, and then the kind of building up of the Cybermen over time, like Genesis of the Cybermen. That was sick.
It
And
was
then
really good. One thing I think is a crying shame, and we'll never know, is would it have been even better if the John Sim thing hadn't been spoiled?
oh, it would have been sick. It
If
would have
it
been
had, I
crazy.
would agree it would have been one of the best
The
episodes of the
the
show.
the way I sit and think about it is that, because I've thought about this afterwards, I I I, I don't think they were going to drop about John Sim being in it purely because he was disguised for the whole episode. If he popped up at the episode like as just like John Sim the Master, and he was like pretending to be her friend normally, and she didn't realise it was Saxon or whatever, and did that, then yeah, I'll be like, oh, they probably went to do it. But the fact he was in disguise all the way up to that last moment of the episode, now I'm angry because I'm
It would have
thinking,
been absolutely stunning. It's
yeah,
like we said in the first week. There's had it not been spoiled in the papers or on the internet, wherever it was, there's no way he would have been in that trailer at the end of the episode.
no, I think they added that just to get people hyped for the thing, because I
Yeah,
figure the cat's out the bag. But
it's a damn shame. I mean, the episode's still great, so at least there's that. But it
to
would
be
have been amazing.
to be honest, if I was there, it even would have worked better if they didn't have that bit in the trailer and they just denied it. They said nah, because who really would have thought, oh, they're gonna, out of all the people they're gonna bring back, they're gonna bring him. I just put it down as a rumor and a hoax.
I don't know. I think in this day and age, that once it's out there, it's out there. It's the same thing with what's his face, Bradley from Harry Potter. We know he's going to be in the Christmas special, isn't he? So
Mhm.
it's a shame. But like I said, still at least we've got a great episode. Finally.
See, now I'm angry now because I'm thinking
My
about how
bad. Sorry.
I would have been in shock. Literally, if I wasn't aware he was going to be in the season and he whips off the mask and that's him, my jaw would have dropped and I'd be like, "This is the best episode of TV ever." Like,
Oh well, this
I'd
is it.
really be happy with it. But yeah, apart from that, I mean, it was still sick because I mean, even then, I didn't realise it was him until literally about 30 seconds before he whipped the mask off. So I mean,
I think that's what frustrates me, to be honest, is the fact that it will be in the episode. So I would have been that.
you know, when you watch it back, you're just gonna be like looking,
Mhm.
thinking, So yeah, I
No,
got it.
that actually is an interesting point because to watch the episode back now, you'll be not only are you knowing the master, but you're knowing that when he's playing this guy, the whole time he's just super evil, like leading Bill to her death.
Trolling 100%.
Hmm.
I'm Sam,
And Matt,
and we'll see you in the next episode. Hope this is one's even better.